And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Josh the Punk Thompson drinking his little prime drink because he's got to be one of those social media type guys that will actually buy KSI and Logan Paul's syrup. You sick bastard. Yeah, look what I did. See, dude, they're flat. Flat. And you know why? Because you're drinking that shit prime.
Just call me the Uncle Cringe.
Monster.
Oh, man.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Like the white monsters I like the most. But they actually just came out with that pink one, the new pink one. It's not too bad. Yeah, the strawberry one is not too bad. I don't like the original one. It's way too sweet for me.
Yeah.
The original all with the black can with the green. Yeah. Man, it's just I can't even get through a whole can of it. It's too sweet. Yeah. But the white one is definitely, you got me on the white ones, man. I curse you for it every single day.
I'm a bad person. I've gotten all Sean Grandy. I've gotten so many people onto that thing. I have created monsters for monsters.
Yeah, they make me take a piss though, like so much.
Dude, they do. They're like a damn diuretic.
I'm like, oh shit, I gotta piss. Gosh damn it. Yep. Man, we got some good shows going on today, but hey, before we do that, let's go to onlyfans.com/Wayne and subscribe to us over there. It is free for you guys to subscribe to us. We'll be doing a Q&A coming up from there, and we only take questions from the Q&A once we return from Paris, John and I. So we will have plenty to talk about from this weekend, but we want to mix in with some of the fans, really kind of connect with them. We've had a lot of new signups over on OnlyFans, and we want to thank those people who are signed up over there and submitting their fan questions. Thank you, guys. All right, John, let's just jump right in. We got Bellator this weekend. We got UFC this weekend. We got a young star, man, a young stud over in not Bellator, but in the UFC in the main event. Almeida is a stud, young stud. I don't know how young he is. But I think he's a younger kid, about 26, I think, 27.
He's younger than his opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. This is true. And Bellator, man, we got the grizzled old veteran, seeing if he can get back to that title. Again, Gegard Mousasi coming off of his loss from Johnny Eblen, and against Fabian Edwards coming off of his knockout win over Lyoto Machida. Was that his last fight? I thought he had another one in between there. No, he had one more in there.
Guess with who? Come on, Charlie Ward.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I didn't work that show. That's why.
Distance.
I didn't work that show. That's why.
Charlie Ward took him the distance, man.
Yeah, that kind of shocked me, to be honest. How do you go against someone like Machida?
Come on. How do you do these things? Let's be honest.
You fight to people's levels of your opponent.
Bingo. This is what happens when you are someone that's very talented, and he is. I'm going to give him, he's like his brother. He's very talented. He's got a lot of skill. And when someone he looks at like easy.
Inferior.
Exactly. Guess what? He doesn't do things exactly the same as he does when he's got someone like a Gegard Mousasi facing him, which I know that he has trained very hard for and he's prepared for. And so that's just part of growing. It's growing as a fighter, and you cannot overlook anybody.
Yeah, he is one of those guys. The only guy that I've ever seen him rise up above fighting to their level was the Falco Nieto Falco. When he did the up kicks. And I really believe the only reason why he fought above that level was because they had a big exchange at the weigh-ins.
Yeah,
Nieto had pushed him at the weigh-ins, talked a bunch of trash, really tried to get into him at weigh-ins, and then that transferred over into the fight night. It's almost like you have to light a fire into his ass a little bit.
You do, because there's something about Fabian in that he doesn't light his own fire. Someone's got to do it for him almost. And you take a look at his fight with Costello Van Steenis. Look, he got his ass handed to him in the second round. It was like, oh, you're in trouble. And he came out in that third round and he was putting it on Van Steenis. You go, where is this guy all the time?
Yeah.
This is the guy that, man, if you unleash him and you can, at any moment do the things that you're doing in here, you're a world beater.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Is it like I think because he is so young in his career still, is that he is somebody that's not sure if he has enough in the tank to go the full 3 hard with someone of a caliber of like a Van Steenis or a Gegard Mousasi.
Well, he better have it in the tank this because he's got a full 5.
Oh yeah, he's gonna need it for this. I honestly believe the longer the fight goes, I think a little bit better for him because he is the younger fighter. Gegard's at what, 37, 36, 37, somewhere in there. Yeah. You know, and Gegard, I know he's fought everybody. He's got the who's who. He's been a champion in almost every organization he's been to. And people are going to say, oh, yeah, he left the UFC. He left the UFC for a lot more money. You know, so I like when people were talking about, like, look at some of the fighters that left the UFC. They left because they want more money and they can get it somewhere else. I mean, you can't knock fighters for doing that. Me. This is called what?
What are they called?
What is it called?
Prize fighting.
Prize fighting. Dave, what are they called? Because I want to see if you're actually paying attention, Dave.
The prize is money.
Go ahead, Dave. Dave?
You think it wasn't listening?
What's it called, Dave?
It's called MMA.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, there he goes.
They're prize fighters. And so Gegard has done this notoriously when he was with Dream, was the champion over there. Then he came to Strikeforce, and he made a ton of money over there. At the time, it was considered a lot of money. Champion there. And then he goes over to the UFC. And when he left on a win streak, and he also left for more money. He was ranked number 5 or 4 or 5 or whatever in the division when he left.
So just think of some of the fights that he had there. You know, he had the one loss to Uriah Hall where he was winning the fight. Let's just be honest. He was winning it easily and then got caught with a kick and it hurt him. And then he came back to beat Uriah Hall again. But, you know, UFC 200, I will tell you, you know, I couldn't believe how he just dominated Thiago Santos.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't close. He mauled him 1 round. It was over. You know, and you look and, you know, Vitor Belfort, same thing. Then he came back and he beat Chris Weidman in a bit of a weird fight because there was, you know, some things going on, but that's what happens when, you know, you think you can, who knows, get away with something. I don't know what happened in it, but. And
then he beats Chris Weidman, TKO. And then scroll up a little bit more there, buddy.
Yeah.
He beat Uriah Hall with the TKO up.
Not down.
That's Bellator after that.
Oh, is it okay? Yeah. So, like, I mean, like, he had 1, 2, 3,
but coming
4,
out of the UFC,
5.
1, 2,
5.
5 fight win streak in the UFC coming into when he left.
You know what's funny is
he didn't leave because he can't fight.
No, the number one
because the people were too good.
The first thing people say is, "Oh, he lost to Uriah Hall." And I'm like, yeah, but he also beat Uriah Hall after he lost to him.
Yeah,
it's like,
smashed him.
Guys, calm down. And I believe he was ranked number 5 at the time, or number 4 or 5. I think it was 5 at the time when he left. And the same thing with Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson left. He was ranked number 4 in the world, whatever their world rankings were, and also in the UFC. Yeah. So, but he also is another guy, very much like a Fabian Edwards, where he fights to his opponent's level.
Yes, he does.
And that is a big mistake. So whichever one decides to raise their game that night, I think is going to have success. Now, with Gegard, I've known Gegard for years and years because of the Strikeforce days, the Dream days, all of those things. Man, he is somebody that he fights at his opponent's level, but he just tends to be a lot better than them in those levels. But now at the age at which he's at, where he had a problem with Johnny Eblen was the speed. The movement, the speed, and the way that he mixed up his striking to wrestling, wrestling to striking. Johnny is masterful at threatening the takedown and not caring if he gets it or not.
That's right.
And he goes right back up to boxing and punching and doesn't get it. Okay, I don't want to spend too much energy hanging out down there on the legs. And that's what really, I think, threw Gegard off. Is that with Gegard, like, people try to shoot on him and get him down, and they spend so much energy, and he just defends. You see that lackluster look on his face like, man, you're wasting your time. I got this. You know what I mean? And he's got one of the best jiu-jitsu games in the business. If you look at his
top game is scary. It's nasty.
Yep. Ask Lovato Jr. Rafael Lovato Jr. found out in the 3rd round what it was like to be on bottom with him. I mean, just nasty. Had that round had another 10 seconds, they probably would have stopped the fight.
That's right.
I mean, it was the first 2 rounds he got mounted, he got out, he got taken down, he got controlled. Gegard did against Rafael Lovato Jr. But in the 3rd round, he never took any damage. But in the 3rd round, he swept and got to the top. In the last probably minute of that 3rd round, he put some work in. Maybe the last minute and a half. He put some work in and just dominated from the top position. Some nasty ground and pound. I mean, do you remember his fight? Was it with Babalu where he threw the legs to the side? Oh, no, that was, I think, King Mo.
No.
That was King Mo. But he had some big time wins in Strikeforce where he was really just nasty on top. Vicious ground and pound. Yeah. But this
I
is
like that fight you were talking about because you were talking about King Mo versus
Babalu.
No.
Oh, who did he throw?
Seth Petrozelli.
Oh shit, that was Seth, huh?
It was.
I thought it was Babalu.
Look at that. You see how you can say something and just boom, we come right back at it.
Wow. I like it. Yeah, that doesn't work for me, John. But this fight, the reason why it interests me the most, you have the young buck kind of coming up. How old is Fabian? 30?
I want to say he's 29.
Yeah, I think he's young still. 30.
He's 30.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, he's got 11 wins, 2 losses. Like I said, relatively young in the sport where you got
Two
Gegard.
losses. He got out wrestled by Austin Vanderford.
Mm-hmm.
And, he didn't get, much damage, we'll say, in the fight, but, he definitely got out wrestled. That was the difference in that. And he lost to Costello von Steenis in that one where, it came down to a split decision because, man, at the end of it, he was coming on. So
he is Costello von Steenis is one of my favorite fighters.
Oh God,
John knows. I love this guy.
Too.
I love this guy. He is just fun. I'm looking to see him.
He's gonna be on this card.
Yep. He's got a big fight too. It's gonna be a big time. It's a big fight for him. But you have I look at where Fabian's at right now. This is his time to really shine. And man, it's a trickle down effect in the gym.
Yes.
His brother is the champ.
Yep.
It automatically makes now. Everyone says it makes Fabian or it makes Leon Edwards 10% better because he's a champ. Because confidence is up there. You believe it. I believe it. I believe that. I think it also makes the fighters in your gym feel that 5% or 2% like you're unstoppable.
Well, they can see
that
it can be done, and they know someone that did it, and they can talk to that person. And if he can do it, I can do it.
Well, I also think that what they do is they train with each other. They compare each other with, he's getting away with this kid. It's working for him. It's got to work for me. And it just glows amongst the gym. It was almost like a chain effect in AKA. It was, Kane first, and then it was Luke, and then it was it Luke next? It was Kane.
Well, yeah.
Kane.
Yeah, Daniel.
DC, Luke, all within a little bit.
DC got the Strike Force.
Yeah. He got the title in Strike. Well, so did Luke, though. Luke had the Strike Force title.
Yeah, Luke got the Strike Force
title. So they did. But I'm talking about when they got to the UFC, it was like that chain. Like I'd had the Strike Force belt before, and then they won it after me. And then Bobby Southworth actually won it right before me, I think because he was the fight before me. That's why he won it before me. Oh, shit. And so, what I mean? He was like, yeah, I'm the first Strike Force champion in the gym. I was like, yeah, screw you. So, it was, so it was kind of cool. But it was, it was like a trickle down effect. Guys just believe. They believe in it. I think Fabian has been believing since his brother won the title. And I believe it's going to work for him, I think, in this cage. Gegard's got his hands full, but the reason where I think that this fight's going to end up is I think Gegard's going to really take him down. Oh, yeah. In the exchanges, he's going to look to get the takedown, and on top, we talk about levels to the game all the time. Gegard is leaps and bounds levels above Fabian Edwards. Not one level, not two. I'm talking 4 or 5 different levels above. But the athleticism, the takedown defense that Fabian has is pretty damn good. I know it didn't seem like that against Austin, but Austin had to work a couple times for those. And remember, Austin got cut up pretty bad from the bottom as well. Yeah. But I mean, he was shooting from 4 feet away. That's not going to be Gegard. Gegard's going to basically punch into the clinch, drop down on the legs, scoop you, take you down. So Fabian's got a good chance of just stuffing the takedowns. But if he gets put on bottom, Gegard's a whole different animal, man. The ground and pound, the way he passes guard, how heavy he is with the hips.
Yep.
He's nasty on top. So that's going to be a fun fight, you guys. So that'll be this Friday. We're going to be in Paris for that. So John and I will be coming back late on Sunday. We probably won't drop the show until Monday because it's Mother's Day also on Sunday. So I just want to let everyone know and be prepared. We probably won't drop it until Monday. Film it on Monday morning maybe, and then probably drop it sometime in the afternoon on Monday. But just giving you guys a heads up. A lot of things coming up these next couple weeks. So just be prepared for some adjustments. That's why you guys got to hit that bell and hit the subscribe button and a little thumbs up. If you hit the bell, you'll know when the show drops. So you're not waiting around and texting me and tweeting me all day. Hey, man, when's the show going to drop? Hit me up in my DMs. I had like 30 DMs yesterday. Hey, when you guys dropping the show? I'm like, hey, guys, we're trying, man. We're trying. John's in Chattahoochee. Whatever. Oh man,
Chattahoochee.
Whatever, John.
Okay,
somewhere.
there you go.
Anyways.
Chattahoochee. I like it.
All right, next fight.
Well, we got the the third actual fight in the new lightweight world Grand Prix. That is between Brent Primus and Mansour Barnaoui. That is going to be, I cannot wait for this one because, we were just talking in the last podcast, we were talking about, grappling and the ground game and, the differences of things. You're talking about two guys here that are elite on the ground. Mm-hmm. They match up really well. It's going to be a neat, I'm not sure which way it's going to go. Brent Primus super strong. Barnaoui's got a really long, you talk about your tall, long, and lanky frame. Barnaoui has faced great competition throughout his career. He's come away with a ton of wins. Some, close fights like to Islam Makhachev. Mm-hmm. He lost, but he really didn't lose. And so the dude is good. He is one of those guys that you say, an unknown fighter that can fight with anybody.
Yeah, he's got 4 losses. One of them's to Gamrot.
Yep.
One's to Gamrot.
Mateus Gamrot.
One's to Islam Makhachev. And one is to another really good fighter. I can't remember the kid's name.
Oh, dude, I'm trying to think.
Kevin Lee. No,
Ivan Bushinger.
Ivan Bushinger is a good one. So, but Kevin Lee also.
Kevin Lee was the other one.
Yeah, so you got Kevin Lee, Islam Makhachev, and Gamrot. Those are his 3 losses, and then Ivan Bushinger. But I mean, look, he's gotten this, and look, he took 3 years away.
Yeah,
a little over 3 years away from the sport. Comes back, gets a submission win over Adam Piccolotti, of all people, who's got a fantastic grappling game. I've trained with Adam since he was 14, 15 years old. The kid's just nasty good on the ground. He's had his ups and downs with injuries as of lately, so sure. Good for him to get back on track with a win over Rat Garbage when he had his last fight in Pachanga.
Great.
Good stuff. But this is going to be a good fight. I'm looking to see what's going to happen though, John, is I wonder if the two of them are going to get after it on the ground or if the two of them are going to end up trying to stand.
I really look at it, I think both believe on the ground they're superior. Both believe it. I think Mansour believes that he's superior to Brent. I believe Brent believes he's superior to Mansour. And I think eventually both of them are going to try to take it to the ground, but they're both going to want to be in the top position. Mm-hmm. Neither one's going to want to be underneath. And if Primus is underneath, he's dangerous with a lot of his attacks, but he cannot do the things that he's done in the past as far as going after the same submission time after time. If you don't hit that submission the first time, guess what? You ain't going to hit it the second. So start switching it up or getting back to your feet or looking for the reversal. You can't stay with going after that same submission time and time again.
I was really surprised that they put Barnaoui in this World Grand Prix, but then after his great performance against Adam Piccolotti, it didn't shock me after that.
No. When I was, I had watched him fight one time long before, and it was at Road FC because he had won they had a tournament there, $1 million tournament, and he won that one.
That's probably why he took 3 years off.
That was why he took 3 years off. And I watched him, and so I was like, man, that guy can fight. It's when you watch someone, you go, that guy can't fight. That guy's not good. Dude, this guy's good. And you're also going off of the competition that he's going against and stuff. Then I started going back and watching his past fights. And I was like, and I watched all the ones that he lost, and man, I'll tell you what, I was like, holy shit, I saw this guy in Road and thought nothing of him. He was from France, and, we've had a couple of guys from France that have been, good fighters, we'll say. Czech Congo has had a great career if you really want to, talk about it. There's a couple. This is the best goddamn guy I've ever seen from France. Mm-hmm. He's that good.
Interesting. Like, let's just say that neither one of them are willing to take it to the ground and test it. Or they get down there one time, they're like, "Ooh, I got a little trouble. Let's stay away." And
I will tell you, in the clinch game, there's a huge difference. In the game, Primus likes to be in the stand up at times when he's feeling comfortable and he's not getting tagged a lot. Mansour Barnaoui in the clinch does amazing damage. He throws beautiful elbows. He throws beautiful knees. He ties people up and controls their body position. He frustrates them. He hangs on them because he's really long. His inside clinch game is nasty. And it's a place that I don't think Brent Primus wants to be in this fight. Once he gets there, it's going to be the same thing as going back long ago. Rich Franklin, was the champion in the middleweight division in the UFC. And when he was going to fight Anderson Silva the first time, his entire game plan was to get into the clinch with Anderson Silva. I want to be in the clinch. I think I'm the bigger, stronger, and better fighter in there. And he found out very quickly that was a huge fucking mistake.
Yeah.
And that's, sometimes when you think you're going to do well somewhere, you'll find out quickly. Yeah, that was a great plan. That was a shitty plan.
It's so funny. Have I told you this story before? Because it just brings back flashbacks. I tell this story. I told it the other day because I was out at BJ Penn's new gym opening out there in Hilo. Yeah. And the very first time I ever trained with BJ Penn, like I had heard all these stories about him training with the fighters, Frank Shamrock, Jay Velasquez, Kelly Delonte, Ryan Bowe, and how he was just fucking working them over, tapping them, was actually out striking them. I was like, dude, there's no way. Because I used to tap all those guys too. But they were like, no, this guy's like dominating. I'm like, I would catch him in scrambles and I'd have to work for it. They're like, no, he just takes them down, he mounts them and just passes their guard and just chokes them. I'm like, come on, you guys. Like, you guys, he's not that good. Fucking, they brought him in one night to train with me. Fuck, John, they fucked me up. In probably 5-10 minutes, he chopped me about 5 or 6 times. Yeah. I was like, holy shit. I give this guy a lot of credit because it would have been, I probably would still been just training at night. I was only training at night and taking fights. I got signed to the UFC. And I was fucking, I got signed, what was it? Ultimate Athlete signed me. King of the Cage had signed me. I never fought for either one of them because I went to the UFC. But the reason why I basically was taking these fights was because BJ got me. After that performance of training against him, I quit my day job and I started training full time. I was like, man, if there's guys like this out there,
he taught you a lesson.
Fuck yeah, he did. I was like, man, there's just no way, man. There's no way. You know what's crazy is I didn't realize this until the other day when I saw him. I said, him and we trained together. Then he left AKA after he lost to Jens, and he went off and did his thing. And I was always a huge fan. Him and I were main training partners before he left. And then he went off and he fought in Gomi, and he was training back at home in Hilo and stuff, or in Hawaii. And I went out for all of his fights. I didn't go to the Henzo one. I couldn't make it. But then he came back to the UFC. And when he came back to the UFC, we ended up fighting on the same card for the UFC 46 when he won his first title. I was thinking, I'm like, man, actually, your very first title you ever won was against Matt Hughes, and I was on that card, on the undercard against Hermes Franca. It just kind of brought back a little bit like some memories and stuff. But man, he's the reason why I quit my day job. I was like, man, I can't. There's just no way I'm gonna fight at the highest level. And fucking, if I'm training part time, I was only training at night. I'd work at 6 a.m. I'd work until 3 o'clock, and then I'd go over my grandmother's because I couldn't afford food, and then I'd go to the gym at like 5:30 and just take every class until, and hit mitts and train with the kickboxing team. And I'd be there until 9:30 at night every day, 5 days a week. And then sometimes on Saturday there in the morning. Yeah, it was just, but I owe a lot, man. I just started thinking about that. I mean, that's a big reason why my career changed. Cause I started training.
This is what Steve Harvey, he's a very intelligent man. I love some of the things he says. He's got this thing about sometimes you got to jump. Just jump because it's scary. You're standing on that cliff and if I could fall. Yeah, you could, but you got to jump.
You could also fly. You could also fly.
Go. That's it. That's the whole point. If you don't jump, you'll never know if you can fly.
Yeah. I mean,
you got to go
fighting. And then obviously I didn't realize this till later on because I was just doing it for fun, but fighting is not something you do half-ass.
No,
you got to do it all.
We say it all the time, man. If you're not 100% in, stop.
Yeah, this ain't the sport.
It ain't worth it.
This ain't the sport.
Yeah,
and I was never.
You can do it. You can do it at a low level. Mm-hmm. That's okay. If it's something that hey, I do it just for the fun, and I go to my little grassroots show, once a year and fight. Okay, go ahead. But if you want to be good at this and you want to compete with the very best. No. Yeah,
that was never me. I just wanted to train all the time, and I was a gym rat. I loved it. I loved running. I love doing plyo work. I love doing sports and agility stuff. I loved it, man. I loved the training aspect of it all, and I liked the locker room talk. That's why I've developed
that's-
I've been so great at busting balls, man. I fucking love it.
You're the worst. What are you talking about?
The thing, great.
Can you imagine though, like how
Chattahoochee.
yeah, Chattahoochee. Can you imagine how fucking boring Bellator shows would be without me? Jesus, you guys were. It's like fucking watching paint dry.
Well, hold on.
Jeez.
Let's just be honest.
Bunch of old dinosaurs work for fucking Bellator. They're all going to be listening to this show. They're all the way from all the way from the executives, all the way down.
You just made a whole lot of friends.
I know. I love, dude. We have such a fucking great crew of fucking everybody. Everybody on the crew is awesome, man. They're fantastic to work with, and they're always busting my balls.
Let's just be honest. Do we have fun?
We have a blast. We have a blast.
That's all. That's
And,
what
you know,
matters. That's what life's about.
The reason why I'm okay with saying this because I got a bigger platform than them, so I can say it, and like everyone's just gonna laugh about it. See them, they're gonna be like, "You fucking did this. You said this about us." I love these guys though; they're so fun, man. They bust my balls. We have a good time, but we always have a blast. The Paris trip last year was so much fun. We traveled all around. We did you and I did the line bike thing. They were a little lazy. They kind of did the Ubers and shit, and but we. The thing that scared me, man, the thing that really scared me was that one time that the line bike didn't work and I couldn't get the other line bikes to work with my phone or with the app thing. And then the one that I got, the battery was dead. You took off and my phone was dying. So without your phone, you can't use the line bike. And if your phone's dead, the bike doesn't work. And I'm like, fuck. And the battery was about dead. I didn't know where you were going. And I had no idea where I was in Paris.
Well, no, the first time we screwed it up is you jumped on a scooter.
Yes.
And I jumped on the bike.
Yeah.
And you went one direction. I went the other because we were going towards the Eiffel Tower. And it was night. And it was like, where the hell is he?
That's that night. John, that was the night my battery was dying.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And
Josh is actually walking around. No, excuse me. He's running.
Yes.
Around the base of the Eiffel Tower with his phone trying to call me. And I'm saying, dude, here's where I am.
Yeah.
And I'm right at the Eiffel. I said, look it. And I point at got it down at my line bike and I point up and I'm going right up. I'm at the base of the damn Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not here.
Do you realize how big the base is? Do you realize how big of the base of that thing is? Here's the worst part about that whole trip, John, or not a trip, but that whole night is my phone was dying. The scooter didn't work. And if the phone died, I couldn't get another line bike or scooter to work. But then on top of it, you left and I wouldn't be able to call you if my battery died. But then in the middle of all this, I'm trying to run towards the Eiffel Tower because I see the circular light going because it's at night. So I know that's the Eiffel Tower. But in the middle of all that, I had to take a shit. In the middle of all of it, I had to take a shit. And I'm like, where's a restaurant?
That's a serious problem.
We're in the housing area. There's no restaurants. There's no businesses.
That's a serious problem.
I'm like, fuck, where do I go to the bathroom?
Well, we gotta preface this. We need to say the whole reason this started is because our asinine producer,
like I said,
John Norton,
yes,
told us, "Oh, dude, we can walk to the Eiffel Tower. It's only like 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes away." That son of a bitch was an hour and a half away.
Easily an hour and a half.
We're walking down river things and across bridges everywhere. And I go, you son of a bitch. He goes, I knew you wouldn't go if I told you how far it was.
What an asshole. But you know what, though? I was kind of glad we did walk it because remember we walked down by the river? And it was so nice, man. You just, all the different areas to get drinks. You know, we had a couple glasses of wine, had a beer, and then people were playing bocce ball, horseshoes. You know, we even remember we saw the big cage. And the big cage had people sparring in it. They were like working and sparring in it and stuff like that. It was pretty cool, man. They spent a lot of time outside. It was cool. Like the people brought blankets down to watch the sunset.
Dude, people are sitting there with their wine and cheese right on the bank of the river,
awesome.
sitting on the. Yeah, it was. You go, wow, this really is Paris.
Yes, it was. It was the first time. The first time I ever went, I was like, man, I'm never coming back to this place. But that last time we went, and we had a blast, man. We had a really good time.
We did.
All right, look, I know we talked enough. Brent Primus,
let's
Barnaby, great fight. Yep. Good, should be two ferrets grappling on the ground. So he was going to be the better grappler, but on the feet, like you're saying, Barnaby's probably better in the clinch. And Brent Primus, let's not forget, has some nasty, vicious leg kicks. He's got good power in his hands, a little slow though. Like he's got so much muscle, he doesn't have the speed. But when he lands with some power, and he's got the vicious leg kicks. I mean, look what he did to Michael Chandler's leg, and he's done that to several other people. He's got heavy, heavy leg kicks. But the fight that I'm really interested in, not just because I'm a big fan of Castelo Vanstinas, and I want to see him rise to the top, but Douglas Lima finally realizing that maybe 185 is for him. We'll see. But I think because of he did have some success against Gegard. Remember the leg kicks? Gegard had to get carried out of the cage that night.
Oh, no. He had a lot of success after he got past that first round.
Yeah.
Second round, got a little more confident. Third round, a little bit more confident. Mm-hmm. By the end, he was turning it on, and you go, why did you not fight like this from the beginning? And he's going against Gegard's teammate in Vanstinas. Vanstinas is very aggressive, though. Mm-hmm. Completely different fighter than someone like Gegard.
Yeah.
Vanstinas he's got one of those mean streaks, which I love. Mm-hmm. You know, it's very much like a Carlos Condit, you know, is the way I look at Castelo Vanstinas, and he's got a lot of skill. The real question is, does Douglas Lima, because Vanstinas uses a very wide stance and he leaves that leg out there a lot, how successful is Douglas Lima at taking and lighting that leg up, and how much effect will it have on Vanstinas in the fight? But this is a great matchup, and I think it's a great move for Douglas Lima. I thought he was losing way too much weight. You could see him. You know, we would do fighter interviews, and he would come in, and you're looking at him, and you're going, "You're half dead, dude."
Yeah.
You know, this is not good. You know, and I think this 15 pounds is going to be huge for him in this fight.
He hasn't won a fight since he beat Rory McDonald.
No.
For the welterweight World Grand Prix and the $1 million.
Nope.
I think a little bit of that is enjoying the $1 million and plus what he made in the fight.
You reached that point. I became champion again. I won the tournament.
Yep.
And it's like, it's okay. And that was the problem I saw with him against Gegard, was you could tell it's all right. You know, if I beat him, I'm the middleweight champion. I'm the double champ. Mm-hmm. If I don't, it's okay. I'm still the welterweight champ.
Yeah.
And you can't have that.
No, you can't have that mindset. But I'm looking forward to that fight. Look, if you guys haven't seen Castelo Vanstinas fight, he's just fireworks. What I love is there's never a rest period. He's a grinder. He's someone that just comes at you forward. He throws everything in the kitchen sink at you. There's never a moment where he just like tries to lay on you and hold you. He's trying to do work. He's trying, like you said, he's got a mean streak in him. Yep. And so I always enjoy watching him fight. It's one of my favorite fighters to watch. How do you say this guy's last? Theobald Guti versus Kane Musa.
Yeah. Kane Musa is a very aggressive fighter, good stand-up. Theobald, very good in the stand-up also. They match up very well. This is a really good matchup, being that Theobald Guti is actually, a little bit more of a kickboxer than Kane Musa. Kane will kick every now and then, but pretty boxing centric in his stand up. He believes he's got a lot of power in his hands, and he likes to use that. He'll get after the grappling too, but Kane Musa has got power in his hands, but he needs to be careful of the kicks of Guti. Yeah,
Musa, he tends to pace himself, which he needs to get out of that. He needs to find a way to get in there.
We've talked to him about those things.
He needs to get in there and get after it because he's got the power in his hands.
And he's also in good shape. He doesn't get tired.
He's in phenomenal shape. It's almost like you feel like you're holding something back, but what are you holding back? It's only 15 minutes. Get after it. That's what's the weirdest thing to me,
Worst thing ever, being tired.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, John, is that you didn't train 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it was, to fucking not leave it all out there, man. Leave it out there. Like, you didn't put all that work in for nothing. I didn't run all those fucking miles, to fucking conserve energy and walk out of the cage going, man, I still had something left. No. That was never a recipe for success when you're fighting. So, one of my favorite female fighters, I shouldn't say girl, female fighters from what I hear, ladies, to watch fight, Denise Kilholtz. When you talk about mean streaks,
Miss Dynamite,
she got a mean streak in her.
Oh, she does. She's the nicest person.
She's so sweet, but
she's such a sweetheart. She's gorgeous, has a great personality, and she does that when she gets into a cage. She's a mean little bitch. I love that about her.
All right, next fight. This should be a good fight. Saul Rogers versus Davy Gallon.
Rogers against Davy Gallon. That's a very good fight. We're going to see, he's up at lightweight now. That's a better weight class. He was trying to do that featherweight. He was killing him to make that not smart. But Davy Gallon got a great judo. Stand up is good. Hits everything there is. Even hit the rolling thunder kick on Ross Pearson and knocked him out. So he's got a full plethora of attacks to go after someone. So he's a fun fighter to watch.
Good fight. I want to see Saul just realize that there's nothing more important than being in shape and believing in the confidence in your cardio. He needs to make sure that his conditioning and his cardio is on point. He's another fighter that tends to conserve energy because he's afraid to get tired, because early in his career, all he did was get tired. So, but that was a lot because he was cutting so much weight. So now that he's not cutting as much weight and being at 155, we'll see. He's got everything it'll take to beat Davy Gillon, because Davy's mainly known for his judo, sure, but his grappling is okay. It's not great. It's not enough. His grappling and his judo aren't enough to stop Saul Rogers, I think, takedowns.
No. He's going to have a hard time.
Especially early in the fight. But Davy has proven in the third round he'll still be there. But will Saul Rogers be there? Because his conditioning, he tends to slow down a lot in the third round. So this fight will get interesting about halfway through the second round, is when you'll see Davy Gillon really probably try to step on the gas.
Yep.
Next fight.
We got Jose Azevedo, Augusto Barros, these different names. Just Gugu, that's his name, Gugu. Going against Simon Biong. That's fight. Actually a really, look at, Gugu has had 3 fights in Bellator. 2 of them are losses. Rumble Johnson, he almost had out, and he ended up getting knocked out. And then he had a fight with Alex Polizzi that was unbelievable, back and forth. They had each other in trouble throughout it. It's one of the best damn fights you could watch. And he ended up losing that one. But he's had some just phenomenal fights. He's fun to watch. And Simon Biong, he's come in there. He lost his first, match in Bellator, and then has come back with 2 quick wins. He's looking good, super athletic, very strong. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah, it should be good. I think 2 of them want to keep this on the feet and keep it standing, so it should be a good fight.
Yeah.
Kyle Stewart versus Gregory Baben.
Baben? Look, Baben is a lot better than people realize. This is a dude who is, his submission game is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. He is tricky. He came in, I think he's 4-0 in Bellator, but it's in different time periods. He was in early Bellator and stuff like that. The guy can fight, and he's a good fighter. Kyle Stewart, good fighter also, but he's going to have to be very careful with his submissions.
One of my all-time favorites in Bellator is Yves Landau. He's just fun.
Yeah, dude, parkour.
He's just fun.
the dude is a break-dancing parkour fool. He's an athlete. And I really believe at featherweight, because he was always fighting at lightweight, and he was small.
Tiny.
Very small. This is a great weight class for him. The guy he's taking on, Inamoto, is a good fighter, but he matches up well with him. It should be an exciting fight.
Yeah, Yves is someone that leaves it all out there. He'll do crazy, wild stuff. He's down to just get after it. And you got to love those kind of fighters. Yep. The other guy who's real good on the ground is Oliver Ankamp versus, how do you say his name?
Luka Poklet. But if you remember, Luka is the guy that pulled off what we call the Lukanator. He pulled it off on Dante Sciro. It is a sensational choke that I had never seen before. And unbelievable his ability to get to that now against Oliver Enkamp. Not saying he's going to get there, but both guys have really good submission games. That's an interesting matchup.
But you remember Oliver's, was it his last fight or the fight before that where he hit...
That variation of the buggy choke.
Yeah, it was, but he hit it differently. He had it actually basically was an inverted triangle, but then he reached around and pulled on the other leg and used his arm to choke from the other side. Very, very technical, very, very crafty, because he has the length and the reach to do that. Tall, long, and lanky body style for that submission game. Yep. Tim Wilde trying to get back on track against Christopher Gonzalez. This is kind of a weird fight for me because Christopher Gonzalez is so damn good, and Tim
Wilde's good. Tim Wilde can fight.
He just fought.
Tim Wilde can fight.
I know
dude, and he's gotten better and better and better. He's now training with Leon Edwards and Fabian Edwards, and man, his stand-up has gotten damn good. Chris Gonzalez, obviously the better wrestler. He needs to get the fight to the ground.
Did Tim fight in Hawaii?
No.
Will you click on Tim Wilde?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I think he did.
No,
Leary.
Charlie Leary,
yeah. I was like, man, they both have bald heads.
He fought Yancey.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, wait, didn't he fight in Hawaii? I was like, how did they get him back so fast? Got it. Okay. That's gonna wrap up our Bellator talk, and that comes on Friday. It'll be on Showtime, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So that'll be on Showtime. And hey, make sure after you guys watch that fight, you guys subscribe to us on our OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/weighing-in. It is free. Submit your fan questions over there, Dave. We'll be putting up fan questions, logos or whatever it is. And you guys can put your fan question down below. We're only answering questions from the OnlyFans channel. So onlyfans.com/weighing-in. Head on over there, subscribe to us. It is free. Thanks for helping us and following us. And we want to continue on. Let's talk about the UFC.
Big fight between Jairzinho Rosenstruck against a guy who is really coming on, Jailton Almeida. You talk about the hybrid fighter. This dude is, doesn't weigh in at the heavyweight limit. This dude is put together, no fat on him, strong, very good on the ground. Will be in the stand-up as long as it takes for him to get it to the ground. And so I look at this, we've seen Rosenstruck in positions where he's waiting because he's worried about being taken down and doesn't throw his hands. He cannot do that against Almeida. He needs to throw his hands, make it to where Almeida is hesitant in coming into him to try to get the takedown. This is striker versus grappler.
Yeah. This can be a great fight, man. Outside of Jairzinho really just catching him on the way in, I don't see how Jairzinho wins this fight, especially if this fight hits the ground. So, Almeida's got to be very cautious. He's got to set it up with his striking to get on the leg. I really feel when you fight guys like Jairzinho or Derek Lewis or guys that have that big power, Francis Ngannou, you got to fight him how Cain Velasquez fought Junior Dos Santos. You got to just chase him around on your hands and knees till you pick the ankle, and especially when they're still fresh and they got all the power. After you clinch with them a little bit, after you wear on them a little bit,
their arms a little heavy,
the speed goes away. The power's still there, but the way they deliver it is a little labored. You can see it coming a little bit more. They don't, they load up when they want to go, so you can see it coming. And then I think after that, Almeida should just probably run away with it. I see Almeida really making a name for himself on this fight, unless he gets clipped on the way in. That's the only way I see him losing. How old is Almeida, though, by the way? Can you click on him?
This is a big fight for Jailton Almeida.
Yeah.
This is the 31. One that's going to put him there.
31 years old. Look at him, man. He looks fucking built like a Greek god.
He is, man. Look at that. 232. He'll probably be 235.
Jealous.
For this fight. But, man, fast. Mm-hmm. Good, very solid ground game. Yeah. I just love the way he positions himself, takes his time, and then works to positions and does damage. He's good.
Next fight.
Anthony Smith taking on Johnny Walker. This is an unusual matchup. This is one that's Johnny Walker has basically redefined himself, has gone to SBG and gotten with John Kavanaugh and has really changed his way of fighting. Johnny came into the UFC and became very exciting, did all kinds of crazy stuff, was getting big wins, was hurting himself in celebrations, all those kind of things. But he forgot that, hey, winning solves everything. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you start losing big time and you're getting knocked out, you're damaging, what is your, I just got something right there. You're damaging, what is your moneymaker, your brain. And it doesn't matter that, they're going to use you for as long as they'll use you, and then they'll get rid of you. You've got to fight smart.
Yeah.
You got to make the other person fight your fight. We're going to see exactly where he's at, because for the last couple of fights, he has done exactly that, and he's walked away with wins.
Yeah, I agree, but Anthony Smith is, I think, better than the guys that he's fought recently. And Anthony...
I love Anthony, and I've known Anthony for a long time, and I think he's a fantastic fighter. He's got a lot of mileage.
Yeah, he does.
36-17. Okay?
Man.
You're talking about, that's a lot of fights.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking over 50 fights. And when you get into that over 50 fights, it's not that you can't fight. Mm-hmm. It's that you do start to slow down in areas. And it's the one difference that I really see. Johnny Walker, for a big, tall, lanky guy, he's got speed still. Now, Anthony, I think overall is the more complete fighter, but first round is very important here in this fight.
This is true. I guess I should have probably restructured the way I said that. I think that in the first, obviously Johnny Walker in the first probably 3 minutes is just going to be wild. He's going to try to really get him out of there. Well, Johnny fights smart enough to conserve the energy where he doesn't leave himself open and gassed out by the end, because Anthony will still be there probably by the middle of the second, but then Anthony tends to slow down also.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, so we may end up seeing these two in the end of the second kind of going, man, what do we do? Now we got to figure this out. So it's kind of whoever has the most gas and they get the end of the second round going into the third if it gets that far.
And that's what I look at. Anthony needs to just be smart in the first round. Don't try to win it. Make him work.
I think if Anthony's on top, he'll have success though too. If he threatens to take
absolutely.
down,
If he's on top, he will.
Yeah.
But on the bottom, he won't.
No. This next fight though, D-Rod and Ian Gary, good fight.
Very good fight. Ian Gary's come out and looked fantastic. You know, the kid's a sniper. He's sharp. He's got great fundamentals. You look at his technique and the way he goes about in his stand-up. And his ground is not bad either. You know, he doesn't end up there all that much. But against Daniel Rodriguez, you're looking and saying, this is going to be a stand-up fight. And this is going to be... Ian Gary is a more technical stand-up fighter. Daniel Rodriguez is more of a... he's a good technician. I'm not going to take anything away, but still more street, more brawl. We'll get into the brawl. We'll stand and bite down. While Ian Gary shouldn't do that. Yeah. I'm not saying he won't, but he shouldn't do that with Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah, but the way you beat guys that are technicians like that is guys like D-Rod.
Make them into the brawl.
Because you bring them into the brawl. They're not used to that type. They're expecting a real traditional style like Muay Thai, kickboxing, let's stand, let's go. And in his last fight, he got clipped and got rocked real bad, Ian Gary did.
Yep.
And he was able to weather the storm, come back and get the win. But D-Rod not only is D-Rod a finisher, but D-Rod's going to be there. He doesn't slow down. He doesn't get tired. I mean, he's that dog. I mean, I look at him and I'm like, this is a dangerous fight for Ian Gary. I'm like, oh, Ian Gary's probably got more power. He's got the bigger body frame. He's probably taller, longer, lankier. He's more of a technician. All of those things, yes.
But as soon as Daniel Rodriguez brings him into his world, if he allows that to happen, he'll lose. Yeah,
because punches come from different angles when you're fighting dogs. Man, like they don't always come from the traditional just stand up 1-2 down the pipe. Nuh-uh. Yep. There's the dirty elbows up the top, over the top. There's uppercuts, the griminess of the clinching the head and elbowing and kneeing. Like it's a different style of fight. And Ian's gonna have to be prepared for that because D-Rod's gonna bring that shit. So this is a good test for Ian Gary, especially after watching his last fight where he got clipped. So this is gonna be good to see where he stands in terms of his technique and his ability to dig deep, because he's gonna have to dig deep in this fight, I believe. Yeah. Next fight is a very good fight.
Oh, you talk about the dog fight.
Mm-hmm.
This is two guys that are dogs. Tim Means, been there forever, the dirty bird, very, very good with his elbows, good with his knees, good in the inside fight, good on the ground. He's just a good, tough fighter, but he is coming towards the end of his career. He's getting older. Alex Morano, man, we've seen he's got a fantastic ground game, but he's also got good stand-up, man. And Alex is the guy, he doesn't look like a fighter. You know, as far as he doesn't have the the chiseled look and everything like that. But I'll tell you what, the son of a bitch can fight and is tough as nails. And so this is the fight that I was looking at. This fight and the next one are the two that I go, this is what the purists are looking for.
Very true. Well, I look at Tim Means, right? Like you said, he's got miles on him. And Alex Morano, for some reason, when I look at him, I'm like, this dude can't fucking fight.
Yes, he can.
This guy can't fight. And then I see him fight. I'm like, damn, this guy's good.
He's good. Yeah.
He's good. This is what I want people to, when they watch him fight, there's no wasted energy. It's very rare you find a fighter that fights on his toes like that. And they seem like they expend energy and they start to slow down, or like they get taken down pretty easily. This kid doesn't get taken down very easily. And he's a dog on the feet, man. Big, heavy kicks, got the striking. He'll take a shot, deliver a shot. He's got a beard on him. Like, this is an uphill battle, I think, for Tim Means, and Alex Morano. He's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter. He may not look it, like you said, he may not look the part,
Nope.
But don't let that shit fool you, man, because he can fight. This kid can fight.
Absolutely, he's good.
And the next fight, like you said purist. This is exactly what I would be thinking of these two guys.
Exactly. Matt Brown taking on Court McGee.
Jeez.
You know, both guys coming from the Ultimate Fighter show. Matt Brown has had just a remarkable career.
Have they fought before?
No, I don't believe so.
Are you sure? I would have
Take a-
imagined.
take
You
a
would have
look.
thought these
Dave,
guys would
take a
have
look
fought
at that because
before, right?
I don't think they have. Well, you got to figure Court for a while was fighting up at middleweight. Then he came down to welterweight.
Oh, maybe that's why. Middleweight down to welterweight. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
No.
Yep. I didn't think he did.
Wow. You would have thought these guys would have fought a while back, but this is going to be a fun fight.
Both of them.
I'm not going to even
But
pick.
it's funny
both of them
because,
can
you know,
win.
you go into the backgrounds and the stories of both, and both came from being addicts.
Yeah.
Both of them, you know, and both of them have made, you know, fantastic careers out of MMA. They've both been very successful. They both have really changed their lives. They're both such positive influences on the sport and on people around them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love both guys. I don't want to see either one lose, but this is a fight where you look and you go, yep, these are just two old badass dudes that are going to get after it. So, you know, may the best man win.
Every when I say this, don't take this the wrong way for every person listening to this. Every top level athlete in the world, they have an addiction problem. If they weren't
No doubt
addicted,
about
if you wouldn't be one of the best at what you do if you weren't
Right.
if you didn't have an
You're
addiction
addicted to
problem.
fighting.
You're addicted to this. You're addicted whether it's the adrenaline of going out there. You're addicted
all of
to
it.
fighting. You're addicted to the training. For me, it was the training, the guys inside the gym, the coach, me and my coach one-on-one in the mitt works. It's an addiction. That's why it's hard. When I got done, I said this, my new life's going to cost me my old one. I say that all the time because I had to get out of the gym. As soon as I said I was going to retire, in my mind, I knew I was going to retire. I stopped going to AKA. I don't even go there now. Like, I'll go randomly here and there to swing by to watch the guys train. It's like, oh, you come to train? I'm like, nope. I didn't come. I just came to come by and say hi and just, you know, I'm not on your guys' level anymore. There's no point. There's no point to be in here. Like, why? So I could train with the 125 pounders and fucking.
So I could get beat up?
Yeah, I have no interest in this, man. I can train with my students in my own gym and like have fun. Be
And
the
do well.
bully. I can be the bully. I don't need to be the nail. You guys with the hammer. I'm not trying to be anyone's nail, man. I retired because I didn't want to be the nail. So
That's it.
this is the thing, man. Like, these guys coming off the addiction, they found a new addiction, and I'm happy for them. This is like a full on success story for both of them. They've had a great career. They're going to continue to have a little bit more of a career. They are getting older in age, but man,
Yeah.
the two of them have delivered some of the best fights in the sport.
Oh my God.
I can't say enough about watching Matt Brown and Court McGee. I tip my hat to you guys.
Go back.
Congratulations.
Do you remember? God, well, it was Eric. I want to say Eric Perez, but it's not Perez. It's a Brazilian fighter, Eric Silva.
Oh yeah,
You remember that fight that Matt Brown and Eric Silva had?
yes.
Eric Silva was all over, but hit him to the body and hurt him, and Matt looked like Matt was going down.
Yep.
And Matt came back. What a comeback! What a fight!
I think that was Eric. Was that Eric Silva or Eric Silva's first fight in the UFC? Because he was the jungle
No.
champion, wasn't he?
No, that wasn't his first fight in the UFC.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he just an amazing fight. Just a show of heart and staying with something when you're hurt and stuff and coming back. Matt Brown has had multiple fights like that. And he's had fights where, you know, I was, you know, the referee for a lot of his fights, and you know, when he faced Robbie Lawler, dude, what a gutsy performance he put in that, man. He was getting hit with just hammers at times and just shake it off and come back and start trying to throw inside elbows and stuff. You look at it and you go, dude, you are too fucking tough for your own good.
Yeah.
But that's what made him who he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's like I said, both of them are a success story, coming off the addiction and now finding this, and then they've delivered some of the best fights. So good luck to both of them. I don't want to see either one of them lose because they're pioneers of the sport, man. They've been around for a bit.
Yep.
And love watching them fight. Go ahead, next fight.
Carl Williams facing Chase Sherman. Carl Williams, he's an up-and-comer. Chase Sherman is the guy that we know that, you know, the UFC uses all the time in the heavyweight division. Tough dude. We're going to see if Carl Williams can get through him. I do think that he can, but if he doesn't fight smart, he won't. So
Yeah, Carl Williams got some power.
yes.
So if he's able to touch Chase doesn't always fight the smartest fight.
Nope.
And so
But he's entertaining.
he is. He's entertaining as shit.
Comes to fight.
Next fight.
Cody Stamann against Douglas D'Andrade Silva. That's a really good match.
It is.
That's a tough fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
A tough fight for Cody.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Yes,
a really
it is.
tough fight.
Yep.
I'm looking.
That's a good matchup.
This D'Andrade he's just good all the way around. He's got good power on the hands. He's got good takedown defense. He's fast and
Good ground
explosive.
game.
He's got good
Yep.
ground game. He's good all the way around. Cody Stamann, he's good also all the way around. It's gonna be a good fight, but I think it's gonna lean a little bit more towards Douglas Silva, D'Andrade. Gosh, we gotta start abbreviating these names.
But I think it's actually D'Andrade Silva. I don't know. Whatever. Who knows anymore. Carlos Ulberg from City Kickboxing in New Zealand going up against Ihor Potiera, who was the last man to beat Shogun Hua. Didn't like the way that he kind of said stuff afterwards. It was just a little bit of mistake and excitement. I understand. But this is actually a really good matchup. But I really like Carlos Ulberg. His stand-up is clean. It's sharp. He just needs to be under control and don't press too much to the point where you're working too much. I think this is a good stylistic matchup for him, though.
Good stuff, John. Any other fights on here you want to talk about?
I'll give it up for Gabriel Green. Comes in every time. Guy from California. Puts it on the line, man. He comes to fight. He's fighting Brian Battle, who is the kid who won the Ultimate Fighter. Battle's gone down to welterweight, so Green is going up to welterweight. He used to be in the lightweights, but Green is he brings it every fight. So does Battle. So that's going to be a great fight.
All right,
fun to watch.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. But first, make sure you guys go to onlyfans.com/weighing-in. Subscribe to us over there. We're doing fan Q&A this week. Also, hit that subscribe button on our channel. We also have a clips channel with the link down below. Hit that. Subscribe to us over there. We do short clips. So if you guys are not into watching the full show, and Dave puts up some really good clips of what we talked about during the full show. If there's pieces that you really would like to watch, then you hit those instead of watching the full show. We prefer you watch the whole show, then go back and watch the clips. That'd be nice, But you'll know when Dave drops those if you guys hit the little bell and the thumbs up. We appreciate you guys. Help us with that algorithm. And John?
All right, for everyone out there, we decided that we were going to have someone in an interview that we are looking at as a guy that has been through a lot in his career and is still super young, a guy that has so much talent, has so much going for him, and has proven to be a true winner in just the way that he looks at life, the way he handles himself as a man now. Aaron Pico sat down and was kind enough to talk to us, and so we have an interview with the guy that I call the iron-fisted matador because I think it fits him because he does that cool little matador thing at the end. This is Aaron Pico. All right, we have a special guest, a guy that we, unfortunately, Josh and I being as old as we are, have known for a long time since he was actually a kid. I was watching him wrestle when he was a freshman at John Bosco High, and now he is a full-fledged man and doing incredible things in the sport of MMA. My man, Aaron Pico, how are you feeling, brother? You had a fantastic win. You got back from Hawaii. How's everything going?
Everything is good. I've been really tired the last few days. Josh knows how it is after a fight. I just want to sleep, and I haven't even ridden my horses because I'm so tired. But I'm happy with the win, and just the adrenaline is coming down, so I'm happy. But just really tired right now.
How long do you give yourself, like this week, just to kind of get your body relaxed and rested up, or are you going to take it longer than a week? Or are you still in the gym, just kind of going through the shadow boxing movements? What's your routine after a fight?
I've been in the gym lifting. I love to lift. It's just my, I put on my headphones and I sometimes just spend 2.5 hours and just do some like bro movements and just look in the mirror and flex and listen to podcasts, and it's kind of my time just for me. I like doing that and stretching, but I'll probably give myself a week and a half and just not go back in the MMA gym, but I love to be. There's a gym here. It's called Frontline Coalition, and it's a beautiful place. And I just go in there, listen to music, and just basically look at my biceps and do curls.
Hold it. We heard all about this weightlifting thing, and you actually had some of your teammates from Jackson Wink going, dude, he's like 185 pounds. He was jacked. I mean, it was crazy. How are you going to make weight?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got pretty big in the off season, especially with after the shoulder surgery. I just fell in love with lifting, and I won't say my weight. I don't want to commission to Steve. Hear this, and I'm just kidding. But no, I got pretty big. But luckily, I have a good strength and conditioning coach and nutritionist, and the weight actually came. This was the easiest weight cut that I've ever had, and yeah, I love feeling strong. You know, you can never be too strong. I truly believe that. So I'm back in it, and lots of squats and good movements, and I feel very strong.
How did the cardio feel in that fight with James Gonzalez? Because Josh and I both talked about the switching of opponents that you had, and I watched all kinds of film on your first opponent and really thought about how you were going to match up with him, and I thought that was an easier fight for you than when they brought in James Gonzalez, which was only on like 10 days notice. How did your cardio feel in that fight? Because he came after you. He never stopped. Very similar to the Justin Gonzalez fight.
Yeah, my cardio felt really good, to be honest with you. And that was the first time not that I was tired. I was never tired. I was able to push the pace, but my lungs were opened up. And I really needed to feel that going into a fight, going into a third round. My lungs were opened. And then going into the third, we looked at each other, and he kind of smiled because I know that he can put it on in the third round. And we kind of smiled at each other. And then that's when it clicked for me. Like, that's why you go so hard in the conditioning, to be able to push that pace. And I'm happy I felt it, and it was a good thing.
I tell John all the time, and because as you can tell, John doesn't hit the gym very often.
Not anymore.
You can't replicate fight pace in the gym. It's just not possible. No different than wrestling. Like, you can't replicate a live match, that you do inside the gym. It's not the same on the mats.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's just different. Josh knows it's just different when you're in there. The crowd, you hear the crowd, you're trying to listen to your coaches. There's so many things going on. But one thing that I can honestly say is I get so tired in sparring. I really do. Like, I try to go push the pace like just a pace that I can. Sometimes I walk out of there like wanting to just lay down. And that's the closest thing that I can do to simulate a fight. But one thing I don't do is I don't hold back in sparring where I'm like, I'm going to just take it easy until I push it till I can't go anymore, and it's reassuring going into a fight knowing that you do that, because some people are scared to get tired. It's just sometimes a scary thing.
That is a very scary thing. That usually will create more fear in a fighter than any opponent they're facing. It's the fact of, I can't get tired. If I get tired, then someone has an advantage over me and can do damage to me.
Almost every child goes through that experience, whether it's the first time on a wrestling mat, first time in a jiu-jitsu match, judo match, whatever it is, even sometimes running track and field. If you ever notice when kids, they cry after a loss, or even when they're crying on the mat, it's because they don't understand what it's like to get tired. Because I've coached a lot of kids. I'm like, what's wrong? I can't breathe. Because you're tired. Yeah, and so they panic. They don't know what it's like to be exhausted. And as they get better at sports, they develop that. And as you get to the premier level, top level like yourself, and you've developed that, being able to push through, which is one of the hardest things for a lot of athletes to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's funny, when I was a kid, my dad used to always tell me, it's just that voice in your head telling you you're tired, just push through it. And I used to always like, oh, there's a ghost inside me. It's that's telling me that I'm too tired. Just don't listen to it and just go. But no, it's a true thing. Like, that's why I just try to push it in training, because I never want to go into a fight thinking, is my cardio going to hold up? That scares the shit out of me, to be honest with you. So, just the guy that I just fought, I think he was waiting for that third round, but little did he know that I was ready to go as deep as I needed to take it.
I want to go back with your career and talk about you as a fighter, your evolution of things. and how everything, started. You came in super young. You wanted to be the youngest world champion, and totally, it's okay. It's all understandable. And you had that first loss, and then a lot of people, jumped on the bandwagon against you, saying, "See, you guys don't know." You had so much skill and so much ability and athletic ability. Your wrestling was phenomenal. Your stand-up and your boxing was great, and everyone was almost like rooting against you to a point. But I always look and say, look, it takes more than just the athletic ability. It takes more than just the skill. You have to know that there's the ability to fight and there's knowing how to fight. There's a difference. Talk to me about your evolution as a guy that thought you knew how to fight, but now you're showing that you know how to fight.
Yeah, it was. It's. I think if I was to tell a young fighter, I think you should never put that pressure on you. Like, I have to do this, I have to do that. Everybody has their own different path, and you always hear that. But there's a lot of pressure saying, "Oh, I need to be the youngest," because then you're just like in the rush. You're like a rush. I got to do this, I got to do that. But MMA is a whole different ball game. For me, it's the hardest thing that I have ever done. I know a lot of people say that wrestling is the toughest thing, and but for me, MMA is the hardest sport in the world. It really is. It's just so. There's nothing like an MMA fight. It's crazy. And back to my first fight, what I knew, I didn't know anything, to be honest with you. Now looking back, I had no clue. I mean, I had the boxing, I had the wrestling, and I was able to, beat guys in the gym. But it's a whole different ball game when you're in there in the crowd, and then outside of it too. The media and the pressure and the hype. I'd be lying if I said it didn't get to me. It did. And it can break a lot of people. But one thing that I kind of just told myself is I have the skills. I'm beating guys in the gym that have fought for championships and this and that. I know I just need the experience. And when it clicks, it's going to click. And it's still a work in progress. I don't think I'm nowhere. The ceiling, that's what's so special about me, is the ceiling is so, it's high. I still have so much room for growth. And, but if I can go back to back in the past and tell myself, I would have just told myself, hey, just slow your roll and take not easier fights, just guys that had the same experience as me. That's all I needed,
Let me ask you this: in the beginning, when you first came in, why did you want to fight at 55? Why didn't you just start off at 45? What was the thought process behind that?
Not having to lose weight.
No.
Going to the gym and getting those buys.
I took the advice from somebody that was in my camp. I don't want to say names or point fingers or anything like that, but they advised me to go to 155. And the reason why they advised me to, they said I'd be a lot faster. And I said, okay, well, I think, I don't have to cut weight. 155 seems good. It was probably one of the biggest mistakes I could have done. But it is what it is. Like Josh says, hindsight's 50-50.
My guy, I love it. Pretty soon I'm gonna have everybody saying it, baby. Hindsight's 50-50.
Yeah, but no, it was crazy. It's crazy to think that I was at 155, and especially the guy that I fought my first fight, Zach Freeman. He was a big guy. I remember looking at him saying, "Holy shit, I don't know how this is gonna end up." It was a big mistake. 155, or being around Islam and Khabib and all them and guys that are 55. There's no way that I'm a 55, or even right now. I'm too. Not to say maybe when I'm years from now, but I make featherweight comfortably. I mean, it takes some work, of course, but it's always going to take a little bit of effort. But I feel like I'm a solid 45er.
I agree. I feel like this is a perfect weight class for you. And, when I put you against guys like Jeremy Kennedy, guys against like Patricio, Mads Burnell, those guys in that weight class, I think body frame wise, stylistically, you match up very well with all of them. The speed of it all, the wrestling, obviously pedigree, I think goes to you for sure. But then, the boxing, all of that stuff, you match up extremely well with all of them across the board.
Absolutely. I think so. I think my frame and my reach, and I'm just a perfect 45er, and I don't see myself going up to 55 anytime soon. I'm too small. I've been standing next to Usman Nurmagomedov, and I'm like, no, there's no way I can. He's just too big. He's too big.
He's enormous.
You know, when you take a look at your record and everything, and you were on a hot streak. I think you had 6 wins in a row when you took on Jeremy Kennedy, and you had an unfortunate injury occur during the fight. You threw your arm out for a punch, and your shoulder dislocated. Were you having shoulder issues in training before that?
No, I wasn't actually. Well, I went to California like 3 months before the fight got announced, and I went and wrestled, and my shoulder came out. But then, like within 5 seconds, it was already back in. I was able to do pull-ups, and everything was fine. So I just said, you know what, maybe my shoulder was just out, and just put it back in. And I didn't really know the severity of it. It was hurting. It was hurting really bad. But I'm like, let me just give it a few days. A few days went by, and I was like, okay, I'm okay. I'll be fine. All through training camp, my shoulder never came out one time. Everything was good. I felt strong, and it was just like I said, that something was off. You know, something was off in the first 30 seconds. It was out. But if it would have came out in training camp, I would have called the fight because I probably would have had to go see a doctor. You know, but it was just unfortunate timing. To be honest, it's just a freak accident.
When you're looking at what's going on right now in the 145-pound division, you've got Patricio, who's going to be fighting Pettis at 135. And I know you and I had talked, you don't want the division to be held up. That fight's going to happen, and then there's going to be some time he's going to take off. He's going to probably end up fighting Patchy Mix, which means another probably at least 3 or 4 more months. Has anyone said to you, or, you know, any interest in, I know there is an interest on your part. You made it very clear after your fight. Very well played,
Which
my
was
friend.
outstanding.
Perfect.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That fight potentially between, like, say, you and Jeremy Kennedy getting it back for an interim title. Has there been any conversation about an interim title until the dust settles for Patricio?
That's what I was told before the fight. I said they Ali, my manager, said that makes the most sense to do an interim title. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I would love to run it back with Jeremy Kennedy. But then now Jeremy Kennedy and stuff like that is going on Twitter saying I need to fight ranked guys and do all this stuff. How could I do all this stuff? And it's like, I want to just make it very, very clear that I asked to fight ranked guys. I asked to fight Jeremy Kennedy straight out of surgery. The answer was no. And there's guys in the top 10 that I asked to fight. And all the answer was no. So my words to Ali were, I just want to fight. Give me a fight. So they said, will you fight Otto? I said, absolutely. Let me fight him. So it's not me saying, oh, I'm trying to pick my opponents. Some of the guys in the top 10 don't want to fight. Yeah. You know, now I seen that Bellator came out the rankings. I'm number 3, Kennedy's number 2, Borgs is number 1. And the first thing I see in the comment section is Adam Borg saying, me and Kennedy need to run it back. That doesn't make sense. You already beat Kennedy. How come you're calling him out? You know, like just doesn't make sense. Like, I'll fight you, Borg. You know, they told me I was going to fight you in Hawaii, and somehow it didn't happen because he's hurt or whatever, or you know. But Kennedy, I think, is really ducking that fight. I truly believe that. I think
that's an interesting take from Adam Boris, because I just saw on social media like the week of Hawaii that he said, I'm only about 80%. I've been dealing with a lot of injury after my surgery. Like, he's not even able to fully train at 100% yet. So what do you mean run it back? Like, it's...
Yep. Read the comments. I just stumbled upon it. It said, I said, am I reading this right? Adam Boris wants to run it back with Kennedy. You've already beaten him. That doesn't make sense. You know, like...
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
You don't think that makes sense?
You think it makes sense?
Absolutely. I would definitely rather go against someone that I know that I'm faster than, and in the stand-up I've got a very good ability. Yeah, no. This I'm thinking like I would think here. No, this is a great idea.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you know what? I'm ready for whatever. If they offer me another guy, then I'll fight. But I definitely think that Kennedy and I running it back makes the most sense. It just does.
Well, I think you got the right mindset in the fact of don't worry about it. It's coming.
Yeah,
and that's all you got. That's all you got to know.
Would you be opposed? Sorry to interrupt. Would you be opposed to the Adam Boric? You and him see where the dust settles, and then if you know, obviously, if you come out on top, the winner fights Jeremy Kennedy for interim title. Are you opposed to that?
Why not the Adam Boric for the interim title?
I would fight Adam Boric for the interim title. I would love that fight. I am chomping at the bit. The only reason why I'm saying Jeremy Kennedy right now is because I want to run it back. But if I fight Adam Borsch for the interim title, I would love it. I would love that fight. I pray for it.
Well, the reason why I said you and Adams, I wouldn't say it for the interim title. I'd say you and Adam to fight to see if who Jeremy Kennedy fights for the interim title, because Jeremy is technically coming off the win over you with the shoulder. And I know it's not the way that we want to talk about it, but it's still a W. So he's coming off a win where Adam's coming off of a loss. So having him fight for the interim title doesn't really make sense right now. So you coming off of this win and then getting the win, and whoever wins that fight, you number 1 or him number 1, you number 3, and then Jeremy Kennedy fights, for the interim title against the winner of between you two. And I know you'd like to have that fight back.
Yeah, absolutely. To answer your question, I think I'll just let the boss.
There you go.
Decide. And
Yeah.
I know what I want. I want to fight for a title. I
Yeah.
don't want to say anything. Well, you said this.
No, I get it.
I'll just let the boss and Ali talk, and I just got to be healthy, and I'll fight whoever. I'll get the belt when the time is right. But my job is to just be ready when that phone rings.
Absolutely. When you take a look at the way that the featherweight division is unfolding now, with Patricio kind of stepping to the side, there's a whole lot of openings there for everybody, in that. And you're looking and you say, you coming off of a win, like, Josh is saying, Adam's coming off of the loss to Patricio. Jeremy's sitting there. He's got the win against Pedro Carvalho, was his last fight. It makes sense for them to run it back between you and Jeremy Kennedy, since your fight with him, although that's a win for him, there is a question mark on it. There's an asterisk because your shoulder came out, and everyone could see you were fighting that fight with one arm, and the doctor, would not let you go on into the second round. So it's kind of a simple formula here if you look at it. And then maybe Adam Borsch gets to fight the person that does get that interim title.
I think so. I think that makes a lot of sense. I just want to keep fighting to put me towards that title. That's the ultimate goal. I'm number 3. And it's a big risk to fight these guys that have nothing to lose, honestly. I mean, it's hard. But that's just what I was told before the fight. Said, win this fight and you fight Kennedy it makes sense for you and Kennedy to run it back for an interim title. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see when Adam Borsch is going to be even be ready. And that's why I'm not the president of the company. I don't make these decisions.
I tell people when they start asking me that
neither
stuff.
are we.
Yeah, when people start asking me, like, how come this guy doesn't fight this guy, and this guy wants this guy to fight this guy, I said, hey, that's above my pay grade.
Way above our pay grade.
All complaints, you got to submit to the top level guy. Look, I'm going to go down the featherweight rankings, the new ones that are out that just released yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, no, Monday.
Yeah.
Was it yesterday or Monday? I think it was Monday. So Patricio's obviously at the top, but he'll be fighting Pettis at 135. Adam Borsch, number 1. Jeremy Kennedy, number 2. You, number 3. Pedro Carvalho, number 4. AJ McKee is still in the mix. He's made it very clear that he's not fighting at 45 again. He has no desire to make the weight cut. He's put his muscle on the way he wants to put his muscle on, and he's doing very well there at that weight class. There's no reason for him for him to go back down. He's also locked up with this small tournament called the World Grand Prix. So he's going to be locked up for a while.
He has an opponent.
Yeah,
in the 155.
And so, but then you've got Maz Burnell. I've always thought that'd be a fantastic fight between the two of you guys. He was phenomenal this last week. Did you get a chance to watch him this last week against Justin Gonzalez, who is someone you faced?
I did. Yeah, he's good. He's very good on the ground, and striking kind of just goes forward. I thought Justin Gonzalez's game plan was just was not how I would have fought Mads Burnell. I wanted to fight Mads Burnell actually in Hawaii, to be honest with you. And him and I have the same manager, but Ali said that he wanted to only fight in Europe. Mm-hmm. That's what I was told. Yeah. So I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight Mads Burnell. I said, well, if none of the other guys, I can fight Mads Burnell. That makes mm-hmm. sense. Somehow, kind of the question got dodged, and I had Otto Rodriguez. I'm just being frank,
yeah.
I'm just being front.
I mean, I look at it from a manager's point of view, and I understand why.
If I'm Ali,
yeah,
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now. It's like, no, I don't want one of my guys.
I don't want to lose one of my guys
That's
down the
it.
rankings, and both of you guys are headed back up to the him getting back towards that title shot. You being right there at the peak. Kind of playing it safe. You take a page out of, like I say with the and John says too, is the UFC. Like, only when you have two guys that have a loss is you have them fight each other, so at least one of them gets a win and starts making a run back towards the top again. This is very smart, I think, as a manager, and be like, hey, let's keep you guys separate until we have to make that fight, because there'll be more money involved also too down the line. When you look at guys like UK Mads Burnell and then Justin Gonzalez, there's this young kid. I think he's only 20 years old. Is he 19 or 20? Timur Kiziev. Have you seen him?
Yeah, of course. I've seen everybody in this. I study everybody.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this young man?
I have to watch more video on him. I haven't watched him a crazy amount, but of course I know who he is, and I'm sure he's very good at grappling. He's from Dagestan, I'm assuming. Is he Dagestan?
Yep. Yes, he is.
Probably a very good striker. I have to be ready to fight everybody. And, I'm sure he's going to make his way to the top and probably see each other down the line.
Okay.
So yeah.
John.
So in the perfect world, now that you got this win, if you were going to set things up, and if you were going to talk to Scott Coker and say, Scott, here's the right game plan, what would it be? Would it be you facing Adam Borch or Jeremy Kennedy first?
Well, if I was sitting down with Scott Coker at the table, I'd say, listen, I think the best thing would be for me to fight Jeremy Kennedy, me for the interim title, me take the title from me, win the world title. My first title defense be against Adam Borch, beat Adam Borch, revenge of that loss, and then fight Patricio Pitbull, then beat him, and then solidify myself as a 145-pound king.
See, look at that. We're done. It's all there it is. That's
it's
why
always
I
this
asked.
easy.
It's so simple. I'm glad you pointed it out for everyone, Aaron.
When you were
That's what I can do. That's what I would like.
when you were coming up, right? We had talked about you're coming up. You weren't ready for the Zach Freeman fight. Then you made some changes. After your first couple of fights, you made some changes and went over to Greg Jackson's. You've got a great camp behind you now. Tell me, with your coaches, what has it really been with them that has really connected with you? And you've fallen in love with Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we just had a guest on who was in Albuquerque, and he's like, this place ain't for me. So
I ain't staying in
what is
Albuquerque.
the difference between you and you feeling like this is more up your alley of being there, and with the Greg Jackson camp?
Well, we just click very, very well. Like I move, people come all the time and they always say, well, I don't get the attention. I don't do this. I don't get that. I moved to Albuquerque and the coaches saw that. And I saw them every single day. I made a choice, a life choice to move my camp out here, to invest in myself. And I invested in the city and Jackson Wink. And then the coaches invested in me. And we just clicked very, very well. And I trust them. I love them. I consider them family. And two, I know a lot of people will always talk crap on Albuquerque, like there's not a lot to do. Yeah, to be honest with you, there probably isn't. Like if you're out, you want to go out and clubs and shopping and this and that. Whatever, different strokes for different folks. But for me, I like the horses. It's a nice horse community. I have my horses in the backyard. I like the pace of life. I'm very focused. I'm 10 minutes away from the gym. And I'm trying to be a world champion. I'm not really concerned about anything else, going out or going this and that. I love it here. It's a good, if you open your heart to it, there's a lot of good people you can meet. Mm-hmm. And if you come with the attitude like this place is horrible, it's probably going to be horrible, But I came with the mindset. I want to have a clean heart. I want to have an open mind, and let's see what we can do. And it turned out well for me.
In your gym, go ahead, John.
No, sorry, go ahead, man.
In Jackson Winks, who are your main sparring partners and training partners? And if there's any ones that we don't know of, what should we expect from those younger, talented guys that are coming up?
Yeah, I spar a lot with Diego Brandao. I spar a lot with the 145er for Bellator, Isaiah Hawkett. And then there's, some guys that are, on the regional scene that are, not in the UFC or anything like that. that I spar. But for me, I'll be honest with you, is it Jackson Wink have the names like it had in the past and just flowing in? No, it doesn't. But they have a lot of hardworking guys there, and I have people that I can drill with. Well, for me, I always think the most important thing is coaching. If I could have the coaching and they can put me on a path and give me a sense of direction of where I need to go or where I need to drill, I'll seek out the partners. I can go to Vegas for a week or meet Ali or go train with Habib and work on the things that I need to work on. And then when I need to come back for training camp, get with my coaches and hone in on the details. But I think a lot of people don't realize how important coaching is. And for me, that's the most important thing. It's good to have, you could have 20 killers in the gym and you can have 10 hard rounds of sparring and this and that. But if you don't have the coaching, for me, I don't think that's beneficial. So I may not have 30 partners, like killers, like a top team or that, but I can honestly say that I have the 100% undivided attention from my coaches, and I think that's why I'm progressing so much.
Isaiah Hope gets really good. He's good on the ground. He's got his hands are getting better. He's young, still has a lot of improvements to do, but he's definitely made some changes since his first fight, and then he's coming on strong, man. I would imagine he's a great training partner for you.
He's a great training partner. Not a lot of people like to go with me, but that guy is a gamer. I mean, we can go pretty hard as far as pace, and his grappling is getting a lot better. He's a high level wrestler. I sparred a lot with him before this, so it was actually good that I had that opponent change because he's a southpaw, and having my last opponent southpaw, I was able to kind of make some adjustments and had.
He's from the Clovis, Fresno area, right? Hokic?
Yeah.
Good kid.
Yeah.
Good kid.
All
Super
right.
cool.
I'm going to ask you a couple things, so you got to stick with me.
Yes,
Your
sir.
coaches, you got obviously Greg Jackson, Mike Winklejohn, and Brandon Gibson there. One word, Greg Jackson. Give it to me.
One word, Greg Jackson. That's a tough one. I just think a general.
Okay.
The general.
Brandon Six Guns Gibson. Don't say maniac.
No, he's a maniac in a good way. Brandon Gibson. Open-minded for
That's
sure.
2 words, Aaron, but that's okay. Now give me Mike Winklejohn.
Tough.
Okay, I like that one. What's something that you would like people to know? You talk about you went there for the coaches, and I agree with you. I've known Greg Jackson now for over 20 years. You see when I'll go up and talk with him and stuff all the time, and I did that from the moment that we met. I was like, this guy's smart, and I would sit there and talk to him, and we would go over stuff. When you're able to sit down with someone like Greg Jackson and just talk about fighting, be it your fight, someone else's, explain what that's like to people.
Honestly, sometimes I just am like in awe. He's able to calm my mind down a lot because I sometimes tend to overthink, and I'll ask him questions about fighting, and I'm nervous and this and all kinds of things, and he's able to just get into my head, and I believe everything that that he tells me, and not just fighting. I talk like a lot of life advice, and if I need help on certain things, I'll go to him, and he'll definitely break it down for me. Talk about strategic, like old. I always ask him like who he looks up to and warriors and leaders and
he says
like
me
that.
all the time, right? That's
for sure,
exactly.
For sure.
Okay, we're good. That's all anyone needs to know.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's just so crazy. I just think he's just a general that I would go to war with, honestly. Like if he's like, hey, listen, we need to go to war, I would go with him. I even before this fight, a lot of people would say, just go get the takedown, and I could have made it very, very easy, just get the takedown. But what he told me before the fight, he said, I know it's going to be very, very scary, but for your growth and your evolution, I need you standing as much as you possibly can. So a lot of people are not going to agree with that, but that's why I make world champions. I said, yes, sir, coach. If you tell me to go do a fucking backflip off the cage in the first 10 seconds, I'll do it. So that's why I stood. And he's like, if he's in the guard, get up and get comfortable, and just get used to that process of the crowd and everything going. And then he did say, if you need to slow the fight down and just kind of take a breath, get a couple takedowns, slow the fight down, and if you get back on your feet, just do that. And he's like, there's a strategic plan that I'm doing. I know a lot of people are watching us, Patricios and the Borgs. Just stay on your feet for this one. Stay on your feet, and it will all make sense. I said, yes, sir, coach, you got it. So that's why I was mainly standing.
Yeah, and I will give you credit, because I swear when I asked you the question, the first thing that comes to mind when I look at Greg Jackson, leader. And you said general. That's even better than leader. Way to go.
Yeah, he's it's a good guy to have in your corner. Him and Brandon, Coach Gibson, just work so good together. There's no ego in there. If Greg tells Brandon to do something, he'll do it. And then vice versa, Brandon's like, Coach, I'm feeling this, I think this, then they're all ears, and they just have a really good chemistry. I'm not as an athlete, sometimes you try to appease all the coaches and you're kind of like, well, he wants me to do this, he wants me to do that. No, I don't have to feel that guilt of like, well, this coach wants me to do this and this. Everybody knows their role, and that takes a lot of pressure off me.
When you found out it was James Gonzalez that you were going to be fighting, and then you understood how tough he was, you understood that he was just someone who's always there in the third round, but people don't understand how difficult it is to have a change of opponent within the last, like, say, 10 days, 5 days, whatever, 2 weeks. That change of opponent, can you explain maybe better than I could, is what was going through your mind when you got the opponent change? Then the sparring sessions have to change. The way you grapple, the way you wrestle has to change. A little bit of your preparation kind of had to change. Like, tell me, can you explain to people on what changes and what mentality did you go through during those changes?
Yeah, just little details as far as watching his fights of what he likes to, he's kind of tricky on the ground. I know he was susceptible for right head kicks. I should have threw more of those. So we were just kind of drilling little details, but there's really not much that you could possibly do because you're preparing for another guy, and in 10 days notice you're really not going to get much better in that time frame. But one thing I can say about this is that this was one of the most nervous I've ever been before a fight. I don't know why. I don't know what it was or whatever, but I was feeling the nerves pretty bad going into this fight. And I'm glad that I was able to, and they didn't eat me up like where I was gonna fold or anything like that. I just was feeling the nerves for some reason so bad this fight, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because he was a tough guy. He's fought in some heavy hitters. He knocked his last guy out. He's wild. He's a southpaw. Southpaw sometimes can be tricky, and I'm glad I went through this. I think as a fighter, this really helped me in my growth as a MMA a martial artist. I think it really helped me.
No, I will tell you, I've watched a lot of James Gonzalez. He's a gamer. The guy is absolutely tough as hell. Got a big win against Cody Law in his first fight in Bellator and proved himself. And then both Josh and I were happy. He got a contract because he actually agreed to fight you. So that's a good thing. I like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering too when I watched the Cody Law fight. Cody Law was, doing some damage on the feet. Mm-hmm. But I wonder why he wasn't taking him down, because I was wondering, because I think he knew that he was tricky. Matt Serra, I've seen some fights where he's dislocated the guy's arms. He's doing some grappling matches, but I could have done a little bit more damage on the grappling. I grapple with some high level guys, and I'm pretty good. I'm really good at grappling, to be honest with you. And but I just followed the game plan with Greg. But I was wondering why Cody Law didn't try to take him down, but he is a gamer. He's fought some tough guys.
Aaron, you are still so young. You're 26 years of age. Yeah. Have you thought about, I mean, that's young, especially, I can guarantee, Josh is double your age. Okay. Yes. And you can see it. You can see it in the skin. It's sagging now. It's getting bad. But
it says droopy over here. This is the guy with the three chins.
I don't have three chins. I may have a face like a Shar-Pei puppy, but I don't have three chins.
He's speaking facts right now. He's speaking facts. Yes, Shar-Pei puppy.
But seriously, at 26 years of age, you got so much time in front of you. What is it when you look at? Obviously, you've talked. I want a championship fight next. How far are you looking to take this? Is it just a matter of as long as you're having fun and doing what you love, you're going to stick with it, or have you thought about that at all?
Of course, it always runs through your mind about when retirement, like, or when what you're gonna do. But for me, I just have to stay healthy. It'd be nice to be able to go out like a Habib on my terms and be able to just walk out healthy and be able to not have to be 40 years old fighting for money and this and that. But right now, I can honestly say that the money that I'm getting and I'm taking care of my body. I'm really working on investments and rentals and setting up my future. So when I do decide to walk out, I can go and enjoy a good life, and it all starts now. You got to sacrifice now. I got to sacrifice as far as taking care of my body, what I put in, and so I can have a long, healthy career. I don't want to be too long, but I want to be a good amount of time.
I don't want it to be too long. That's it.
Yeah, a good amount of time. And then also, I'm just going to be upfront. A lot of people don't like to talk about money, but no, the money that I am getting now, I'm being very smart with it. Starting to work on some investments, flipping some properties, making some extra cash, and I'm really proud of where I'm going. And because I don't want to be broken and being like, fuck, I need to take this fight because I need to know. I want to be able to just go out how I want to go, and it all starts now. So I'm starting to lay the groundwork so I can have a healthy exit.
I talked to him, Jon, this last weekend about him buying houses and him flipping houses. He's a man that will do something like Jon will. He'll pick up a hammer and do some work. This guy will not do that.
No, that guy will not.
Pico, I did construction all through high school in the summers, did roofing, did concrete. And when I got to the point where I didn't have to do it anymore and I could pay someone to do it, that's what I did. You're smart. You'll still swing a hammer. You'll still do all that stuff, put in the grunt work. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I have some help, I have some help and things like that. But yeah, construction is a whole different. I haven't done too much. I haven't done a lot of construction, but it's a different type of strength. It's a different type of being tired. My hats off to them construction workers.
I'll do construction and roofing. I didn't mind the roofing. A lot of people hate roofing because it gets so hot up there. But man,
roofing sucks because of the angle.
No, it's the
standing on that angle the whole time.
That's because you're a big boy. I wasn't a big boy. I didn't have to put a lot of weight down at a different angle. It was the concrete. They had me in the middle trying to push the concrete around. And you're in waders.
That's because they were trying to stick you down.
They were
there
hoping it would dry.
You stayed there forever.
They were hoping it would dry and I'd get stuck in there. Oh man. The other thing too is you're sponsored by Monster. Monster had a big we did like a training session with Big Boy. You had a chance to meet with Big Boy. One of the nicest speaking guys I think I've ever been around. Super friendly, but just a massive guy. Jon talks about how big his back is and everything like that. What was your experience chatting with him over the weekend?
That's exactly what I thought. He was one of the nicest guys that I've ever met. I met him one time at Ruka. He came up to me and was like, "Hey man, how's it going? I'm a big fan of yours." And and I was like, "Well, I've been watching all your stuff." And he's just a really, really like soft-spoken guy, and it's awesome being with Monster. And they've been with me from the beginning. Hans has been a big supporter of mine. And I said it in my post-fight, not on when Big Jon was talking to me, but Hans is a really solid guy, man, and he really helped me out. When I was on a 2-fight lose streak, I got knocked out 2 times. They had an opportunity to basically re-sign me. And I always tell the story because it means a lot to me. I remember getting on the phone with Hans and saying, "Man, I know my contract is going to be up. I'm on a 2-fight losing streak. I will be a world champion. I know I can do it. Are you guys going to re-sign me?" And his answer was, "Of course I'm going to resign you." He's like, "You're young. You're going to be a world champion. We're going to stick it out. We're going to be by you through the thick and thin." And ever since that moment, I wear the Monster with pride. And all my sponsors, David August and Ruka, Pat Tenori, they've always called me and encouraged me when I was at my lowest point that you're going to do it. You're going to be a world champion. And I can honestly say that I love my sponsors. They were there for me when they didn't have to. They could have been, "Oh, you're sorry, man. We'll get a few more wins and then we'll reconsider it." No, they stick by me. And Josh knows that those sponsorships help out a lot, especially when, you're not fighting. I didn't fight for almost a year after the Borgs fight. Those sponsorships kind of,
Pat,
keep the lights on and keep food on the table,
Yeah. Pat from Ruka is one of the most solid guys I've ever been around, man. He's a good guy. Very soft spoken. His kids are fantastic. He's just a really good person. Love the energy he brings. He's always positive, always just, he always tried to bring in people that he supports, and same thing with Monster, with Big Boy and those guys. Very saucy. Did he have you try the Superman push up? Did you guys get any of that on foot?
I don't think I would have done it because it was the day before weigh-in. I was running on fumes.
Bro, we did it side by side on one of the videos, and I jumped up and I was like maybe this far. I would say maybe 4 inches, maybe 5 if I'm lucky. If I'm exaggerating here a little bit, maybe 4 or 5 inches off the ground. This dude was like 1.5 feet, and he weighs about 290 something, and he made it look easy. I was like, what the hell? It was crazy to watch someone pop like that. And then I saw him do it in the beach, in the sand. He did it probably, I'd say, another 1.5 feet off the ground, John. This guy he's an athlete, man. Then we did some tussling and some grappling. And he was trying not to put too much weight on me, man. But he locked his...
He looked good, and, Brandon was holding mitts for him, and he looked good. He has fast hands. He actually was throwing decent shots. You see guys all of a sudden... starting to do some mitts, and you go, yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
He actually looked really good.
Well, there's been a little bit of a call out. Tito Ortiz has been calling him out, saying, hey, I want to fight you. Tito's trying to get a fight with everyone. But, but Big Boy, man, he's a nice guy. He's super nice, very soft-spoken.
So cool.
Pretty damn good athlete. And, there was something I did want to ask you. When you started off at Greg Jackson's, Jon Jones was still there, correct? Mm-hmm. What was your relationship with him, and what, when you watched him ever in the gym, what's your take? I like to get fighters' takes on other fighters, because the coaches will say whatever, managers will say whatever. We see how damn good he is now, even at heavyweight. We see how good he is. But what was your take on him and your perception of him when he was there? Because he said some nice things about you. He said a lot of nice things about you.
For sure. No, he's been nothing but welcoming to me, especially when I first came. And I watched him train a few times. He would train really late at night, especially with the coaches and stuff. But he was always so just nice, and I kind of he was just like hi and bye, and just give me a little advice. Like one thing he told me that when he always thinks about when he goes into a fight, when the bell's about to ring, he always just tells himself, "I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna have fun. Let's just have fun. The work is done." And he said, just kind of keep that in your head. But one thing that I can honestly say about that I hear, because I asked the coaches, how's John doing, and is that dude is just studies a lot of fighting. And they just say he's just watching film constantly. Like that's all he does is like he'll watch his opponent every single day until the lead up to the fight, and just over notes. And it's funny, I asked Coach Gibson, I said, just tell me one Jon Jones story. He said, I have a good story for you. He said it was the night before the Lyoto Machida fight. He said it was 3 a.m. And John, he was staying with John. And John wakes him up, and he's like, Coach, get up. And then he's like, all right, if Machida goes here, I should go here. So he's like, it's like 3 a.m. I'm in my boxers, and John is like wide awake, like going over scenarios of the fight, like at 3 a.m. And he said he was just. Because I used to say, like, does John get nervous? He's like, oh, yeah, he gets nervous. And then he told me that story. He's like, of course he gets nervous. Everybody gets nervous. But he's constantly come up with scenarios. Okay, if he goes here, what am I going to go there? I'm going to go here. I just think he's a true martial artist, something that, he's one of the greatest of all time. And nothing but respectful and kind to me,
Do you think, when I look at guys like Patchy Mix at 135, I look at guys like Corey Sandhagen also at 135, Jon Jones being tall, long, and lanky, all three of those guys have something common, and their abilities. Do you think guys like that body style, gives them an advantage, or it makes it very difficult? Because there seems to be a lot of them that are having a lot of success, whether it be on the feet, whether it be on the ground, John being able to do everything, with his athleticism. Does that body style kind of give you worries?
I personally like to go against guys like that. I like that because I'm a forward fighter. So when I get on the inside, I can kind of like stay in their chest. But it doesn't worry. It used to worry me a lot. But I fought like John DeJesus. I fought Aiden Lee, longer guys, and I've had some success against them. But it is definitely kind of weird because their kicks and their range is frightening sometimes. But I think it's an advantage. I definitely think it is, and I wouldn't be mad at it if I had that reach and height. It would be awesome,
The future. You have a son. I'm gonna give you a little story because Valentino is growing. He's getting bigger now. And I was just watching a thing with Yancy Medeiros talking about his daughter, and he said, his daughter, when his daughter gets mad at him, she goes and watches YouTube and watches the fights that he lost.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
It was one of the greatest things I ever heard. I was like, oh my God, that's something I guess I wouldn't think of a kid doing that.
Ruthless.
That's funny.
How are you going to introduce your son, Valentino, to the world that you are such a big part of MMA? Is it you're going to separate yourself? Because I know Josh really separated, his family life and his fight life away. Are you going to bring him into it? Have you thought about those things?
Of course I've thought about it. Occasionally he'll go with me to the gym and watch me hit the bag, and he knows what's going on as far as the boxing gloves, and he'll start to punch. But fighting is something that you have to pick up kind of on your own and want to have to do it. Mm-hmm. And if he comes to me and says, Dad, this is something that I want to pursue, I would definitely be on board and give him my knowledge of what I know. But fighting and wrestling, you can push kids and it's okay. And I've seen people get pushed and not like it and still be successful. It's not really, it's brutal, but nothing like fighting, and if he comes to me and wants to do it, great. If not, great as well. It's not something that I want to force him upon because, Josh, this is a brutal, cutthroat sport. Plays a lot of head trips on you. And it's a tough way to make money.
He says, it's not something I want to force him on. I don't want to force my son. But then when he goes, you know what, son, you're going to ride this horse.
Yeah, he's going to ride a horse.
That's like wrestling. You're going to wrestle, you're going to ride the horse.
We talked about it this last week. Yeah. He's like, nope. He wants to do this. He wants to do like, nope. But son, you're going to ride this horse.
You're going to ride this. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But no, you know how it is. You guys have kids. You never know. He may say, Dad, I want to play the piano, or Dad, I want to play basketball. Okay. Who knows? No. Who knows? All we can do is introduce them to things, and I just want him to have a passion, have a sense of direction, not be in limbo, and I'll introduce him to things, and we'll see. It's his life.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to get you out of here on one thing, though, is I know there's some big fights coming up and stuff, but give me your take on the Patricio Pettis fight. Who do you think comes out and wins that fight?
I think Patricio is going to win. Honestly, he's not even as a veteran. He's just a good martial artist. He's just so good. He's a great champion, one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, in all organizations. I think that Patricio gets it done. Yeah. But you never know, though. Pettis can never count him out of the fight. So we'll see. That's why I want to fight, eventually fight Patricio, because it'd be an honor to go in the cage with him, and I feel I can beat him. I really do.
Well, I want to tell you, thank you so much for your time. You've been fantastic here on the show, but the way that you conduct yourself as a fighter, as a father and everything, dude, you're doing the right things. Congratulations on all the success right now, and I can't wait to see you take that success to the next level.
No, I appreciate it, guys. No, thank you for having me on, and I look forward to doing more interviews and doing the interview with my belt wrapped around my waist one day.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
My guy, man.
No, thank you, guys.
Best of luck, all right? We'll chat soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Josh, I know that you worked out with Aaron Pico, and it was good to be able to sit there and listen to him and just see the difference in his maturity from when we first, saw him, when you were first working out with him, to the guy that he is now, completely different.
Yeah, not just the maturity level, just everything in life. As you mature as a fighter, he's grown up. He's a full-fledged man right now. I mean, he has a young boy himself. He, he's just matured overall. He's taking care of his family, taking care of himself, making sure that he's surrounding himself with the right people, the right coaches. He's sticking to his horses and sticking to, building houses and taking care of himself, really kind of making proper right investments, which is very smart at a young age. He's still a baby. He has a long ways to go. He's still a baby.
26.
I know. It's crazy. Isn't
I
it?
hate him.
Oh, a little jealous there, buddy.
Totally jealous.
My concern with him has always been that he burns the candle on both ends. He works so hard. He never stops. He's a fucking machine in the gym. And he just absorbs the knowledge better than almost anybody I've ever been around. You show it to him, he works it once or twice, and boom, he's got it. You're like, damn. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's got a lot. He still has a lot to learn. He's figuring that out. Like in his last fight in Hawaii, there's a lot of mental that you got to go through, and he's had to deal with it with wrestling. But it's different when you're getting punched in the face. The sport is different, completely different. Oh, wow, you use wrestling combat sports one-on-one. No, it's different. It's the jiu-jitsu mentality too. Like, oh, I've been a top-level jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah, but when punches are coming at you, you're not a black belt anymore. It starts dwindling down a little bit. The techniques are different. You can't utilize certain jiu-jitsu moves or wrestling moves. Trying to shoot a high crotch in wrestling in MMA, your neck's going to get taken most of the time.
Totally
you're going to get hit with that arm and guillotine, or you're going to get hit with no guillotine, just straight up a straight guillotine. You may get hit with that front choke, the basically
ninja choke, front choke.
Ninja choke or something along those lines. All of those things can happen. He's still learning, and he understands that, which really makes me believe that he's going to be champion one day. So the work ethic is there, the focus and the drive is there. All of those things are there. Now it's just progressively getting better and understanding when his time is. There's no rush. 26, man. 27, 28, 29.
That was the biggest problem. There was that rush.
But
there
here's
was that. Oh, let's be the youngest. Doesn't matter.
He thought he wanted to be the youngest, and he was going to push for all that stuff. I get it. I understand. Yeah. But a lot of that was not like just his doing. No, a lot of it was fighters
outside influence also.
Outside influence, but not just that. But then a lot of fighters that were basically didn't want to fight him. Hold on. Ooh, I have to sneeze. Yeah, and a lot of fighters didn't want to fight him. He shouldn't have been. Sorry, he should have been sneeze and yawn all in one time. Wow, what's the chances of that? Some of the top level fighters were turning down the fights for him. He wanted to fight a guy in the top 10 his first time around. We're like, no, let's ease into this, and so they eased into him to give him somebody. But when they gave him Zach Freeman, he wasn't an easy fight either. Zach Freeman, I believe, was like 11-2 or 12-2 or something like that at the time he fought him. Zach Freeman was not an easy fight.
Way bigger.
Yeah, way bigger.
Way bigger.
He's found his place at featherweight. It's a good spot for him. I mean, realistically, even when I get close to him, I'm kind of like, I could see you being a 35 pounder. But he'd have to kill himself. I'm not trying to say he should go to 35. I mean, he's rocked up. I mean, this guy's fucking shoulders are big, arms. Look how fucking defined he is. He's got that Frank Shamrock body style a little bit.
Yep. Very much.
The chest, broad shoulders, the back, everything like that. The way he walks, kind of a little bow-legged. Nothing. It's the way it is, man. He's built like a fucking animal. He's built like a brick shithouse for being so small. He's got power in his hands. I felt it before. And he's got fantastic wrestling. He's working on his submission game. He's a phenomenal person, man, and a phenomenal athlete. Everything you want in a role model. If you have a young child who's coming up and is looking at someone to admire and look up to a little bit in terms of the fight game, I can't suggest anybody else but Aaron.
There's your guy.
He's your guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Great interview, and glad he came on. And we've got a couple other interviews coming up this week, I believe, and looking forward to dropping those.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, Dave, is that going to do it for us, or do we have any news?
That's going to wrap us up.
That's going to wrap us up.
Done.
Just a reminder, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the little thumbs up when you guys then leave a comment down below. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. We will be gone. I'm going to remind you guys, we will be gone to Paris this week. So our show will not come out because we will fly back on Mother's Day. We will not film on Mother's Day. Just letting everyone know that.
No, because we want to live.
Yeah. We want to spend
Just
time
part
with families.
of, part of what is called common sense.
This is life, my friends. There's bosses in each house. So it ain't
Each
us.
one of them.
But
you
no,
go.
so look for us to probably drop. We'll probably film Monday morning or Monday mid morning or something like that. And we'll hopefully get it out to you guys by the evening or the afternoon. So that all relies on Dave and when we decide to get it done and filmed. All right. So everyone have a wonderful week and a wonderful Mother's Day. John, take us away.
Happy Mother's Day to every beautiful lady out there. Even if you're not a mother, have a great day, and we will see you.